travels to Star City Opens.
Star City Black and Blue?
Nothing like that, but it'll be close to the Star City Blue team.
Yeah. You know, I think that this Blue-White-Red Miracle deck, it's really more a function of these players testing more for the Pro Tour than anything else. I think that they probably threw this deck together. You know, they probably
maybe one of them worked on it.
Right.
I don't know if they're working. I don't know how many of the teams actually qualified for the Pro Tour and how many of them are actually working on Modern. So that really remains to be seen.
Right. But it's clearly not that tuned of a deck. It has a lot of 4-ofs. It has some holes, as we've seen today. But overall, a pretty good choice for week 1, I think.
Right. It's a very safe choice. This kind of deck will be good. All right, so on the game, Kenny Castor leads out on the Steam Vents tapped. Hinterland Harbor tapped out of Kenneth Rickabaugh. Castor, Hollow Fountain tapped. We're probably going to see some land development just kind of go here. Rickabaugh does play Farseeks in his deck, so maybe he can get ahead on tempo, but he does not have one. He makes a mountain and passes the turn.
You know, and actually, it's funny you say Farseek, because I think that's the card that Kenneth Rickabaugh wants in his hand on turn 2 more than any other card here.
He went for turn 2 Desperate Ravings.
Okay, that's fine too. But his deck is a little on the slow, ponderous side. Would have loved to accelerate.
8 cards, gonna roll 1 to 8. That's a D6. That doesn't really work. You can't select between 8 cards with a D6. I don't know what it doesn't work. I mean, you can do it with 2 rolls.
It's kind of random.
So now, okay, so he rolled an even number to say that he was on that pile. Sure. All right. Yeah, that works. Zealous Conscripts was taken.
Yep. So Zealous Conscripts, a sideboard card from Rickabaugh. It looks like what he would bring in.
I think I know the way they decided that. That wasn't. If he said this will determine which side I start from when counting, that's not random. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't really matter though, because all the cards are face down, so the positioning of them is random. So,
yeah, that's fair. Though technically, yeah, sure.
So both players just, again, like you said, developing their mana, drawing cards, marginal card advantage.
Sure. It's fun. Kenny Castor with a Think Twice and End Step. Rickabaugh makes an untapped Steam Vents, dropping himself to 18, clearly to flashback at Desperate Ravings.
Yep. So the cards Rickabaugh sided in here, he probably sided in the Garruk Relentlesses, he probably sided in the Thundermaw Hellkites, the Zealous Conscripts. Not sure about the extra Draco Genius, not sure about the Blasphemous Act.
I'm surprised at Zealous Conscripts, actually. I mean, is he hoping to steal a Planeswalker?
I think so.
I don't know. I'd rather just have more threats, but I suppose.
I think he's hoping to steal a Planeswalker and ultimate it. Kenny Castor, he has to be really careful of that. He can't leave a Tameo on 8.
End Step, Desperate Ravings. Discards a Hinterland Harbor for Kenny Castor. He has to watch out now because he has too many cards, I believe. He's going to have to play something or discard.
Yep, and he's looking at a Garruk, which will most certainly eat the Syncopate.
That's fine.
Oh,
Huntmaster of the Fells. And Kenny's just going to snap Syncopate whatever. Looks like he was going to Syncopate no matter what the spell was.
Yeah, because he wanted to tap
out
for Jace. Jace immediately +1s. Probably playing around.
Interesting. So now that doesn't play. Does he? He does not. Okay, he does not have his own. Yeah, he does have his own Jaces. Kenneth does.
I'm not sure I like that though.
No, it's typically in the Jace War you brainstorm off your first Jace. And what's really hard though is Rickabaugh has missed his land draw.
Wow.
That's pretty bad. Sulfur Falls into play untapped for Kenny Castor. Rickabaugh still with no land.
Not really a huge.
Drawing Cyclonic Rift. He has double Garruk in his hand. He's going to have to make a play. He's double Huntmaster, double Garruk.
Yeah, and he doesn't know it, but he's really far ahead this game because Kenny Castor's hand is 2 Detention Spheres, 2 Terminus. And that's really not that good right now.
No, I actually still think I'd like to be Kenny, though. The land thing to me matters so much.
Yeah, we'll see how he deals with this.
Maybe you're right, yeah. Kenny, okay.
Kenny just saying go. He's going to let the Garruk run wild for a few turns, then probably Sphere plus Terminus.
Sure. Perhaps you're right. Kenneth is really overloaded on threats. He has to make sure he doesn't overcommit into this board. I think I'd be okay playing maybe a Huntmaster into it. If the choice is Huntmaster or discard. Okay, he's gonna, and that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. I would minus the Jace. Yes. And yes, Kenneth Rickabaugh agrees. And no land at all.
Wow. So,
Huntmaster,
wow.
take Farseek, Snapcaster.
Snap take Far. I would have taken Farseek if it was the 2
Alone.
cards versus. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I think what Kenneth might be thinking here is that casting Farseek essentially time walks him, and he did draw an Evolving Wilds.
So he did have a land. I see. So that's not too bad. Also, he probably would have had to discard if he took the 2 pile.
Right, Kenny draws a Jace, and that so even more. What I like about Rickabaugh's play of his own Jace was that it makes Kenny do this to have to play his own Jace, to play a Jace.
Right.
So memory deck from Rickabaugh is gone.
You know,
Still has a 2 on it, but it's gone.
It has 2 in spirit, in the sphere. So this Kenny mirror really heating up here.
Rickabaugh's really far ahead though, isn't he?
Oh, he is, yeah. The Garruk Relentless is going to be a problem for Kenny. Well, really the second Garruk Relentless is going to be a problem for Kenny.
Maybe. Garruk can only push so fast. If Castor can get ahead on the board with something like a Jace, Garruk can be ignored.
That's true. I mean, really, Kenneth Rickabaugh is racing the Entreat the Angels.
Right. I mean, it's a Miracles deck in its name, so... You know, Kenny just has to stall the game long enough till he draws an Entreat.
Right. I'm looking at the deck list, and he only has 2, compared to Brad and Jerry, who had 3. So.
Right, well, what I do like what I'd like to see from Rickabaugh is he has this Cyclonic Rift in his hand, where I would really like, so that Thragtusk, an excellent play by Rickabaugh because it plays around a lot of stuff, plays around a lot of removal, and what I really like to see is Kenneth just hang on to the Cyclonic Rift as a stopgap measure in case Entreat the Angels happens.
Oh, definitely. I would never use that unless I'm going to win that turn.
Detention Sphere on Garruk. He had to shock himself off the Steam Vents, dropping himself to 12. Yep. And then a Terminus puts everything on the bottom, but Kenneth gets a 3/3.
So Kenneth's still ahead. Kenny Castor down to 2 cards in hand. Kenneth Rickabaugh with a full grip.
Yeah, he'll probably just make another Garruk Relentless here.
Yeah, that definitely seems like the play. Get the Planeswalker on the board, get the threat that is hard to deal with. 2 Detention Spheres already gone. And there's the 6th land.
All right, and we see Thundermaw Hellkite.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a
so
fun
he's going to
play
push
too.
some damage. And that drops Kenny Castor down to 4. And he's drawing a Jace.
Probably not going to help him too much here.
Oh.
He needs another Terminus. Oh, he has another Terminus from earlier.
Does he have enough lands to go Terminus Jace? He is 1 short. He's going to cast the Jace with the hope of finding an untapped land.
No, I think he might actually have one in his hand, and if he does, this is a great play before playing the land because it might make Rickabaugh
immediately Tameo versus Tameo and everything else, and Kenny will take the Tameo.
Yeah, of course.
I think. Yeah, you don't need. There's no point to having the Clifftop Retreat, so it's just Tameo versus Negate.
Yeah, and he has to shock himself again, dropping himself to 2 life.
Yeah, well, he probably can't shock himself again here.
Probably would not be the best play.
It's okay. There's no. Well, we'll assume for now that Rickabaugh has sided out the Pillar of Flames.
I think that's a good assumption.
Right.
He could have brought in Annihilating Fire, but that seems pretty bad.
Right.
I doubt he has any direct burn in his deck.
So Rickabaugh just needs to find a way to push 2 more damage in. His Snapcaster Mage, Zealous Conscripts, and just a 3/3 haste will do it.
3/3 haste.
All right, so Kenneth Rickabaugh defeats Kenny Castor 2-1. So right now, of the Tricolor Miracles deck, I believe just Brian Braun-Duin is still undefeated with it. We saw Kenny Castor take a loss with it, Brad Nelson take a loss with it.
Jerry Thompson started 1-0. We're not sure how he's doing.
We're not sure how he's doing,
Yep.
so that's fair.
But yeah, it seems like the Blue-White-Red Miracles, they all decided to play the same deck, but not quite having the best results here.